What is up, everybody? Thanks for coming in. Hey, we got fog. Look at that. I've experimented with some other stuff, and it's fun. So, 2 or 3 days ago, I get this smoke machine in the mail, and I'm like, I didn't order a smoke machine. And so I just immediately thought, Doc. He's my biggest tipper, he's my biggest supporter, he's my mod, and he's been like begging for fog for ages. So I just text him, and I'm like, you really want me to have fog, don't you? He's like, yep. And I'm like, well, thanks for the package, man. I got that. It'll be running on Friday. And he's like, what are you talking about? And so we tried Therese, and it ended up being my parents, but actually my dad specifically. I called them up, and my mom answered, and she's like, oh yeah, that was all your dad. So thank you very much. I'm not sure if they're actually going to be on tonight. I know they're on vacation. They said they would try to tune in on their tablet. So hopefully they're watching and seeing the fruits of their gift. But this does look an awful lot better. I'm really pleased. And it's very appropriate, this being my anniversary show, and things just kind of working out. So I feel like the lights are kind of happening. Hopefully we won't burn anything down tonight. It seems like that's the gist of what's going on in chat here. I was working on some digital art. Excellent. Always like it when people are working on art. Listening to this nerd playing some amazing music. Thank you very much. So I see Glenn is here, Therese, Doc, a lot of my normals. I thought I saw Renee in there somewhere. She'll be listening. So thanks for coming in. Anyone else who's here, thank you very much. As you know, I always appreciate everyone being a part of the show. And of course, I love doing them. So let's do some more, shall we? So tonight, first anniversary. 1 year ago today, I played my first online live show. It was really fun, and I played the Patron Saint of Murderers. So tonight we are doing Murder Metal. This album we're playing right now is Murder Terminology. That first song, what was that first song called? I don't even know the name of I don't even know my songs. You do over 600 songs, you start forgetting. That was called Dark Intent. And so yeah, we're on Murder Metal. As soon as we get done with Murder Metal, we're going to play the Patron Saint of Murderers. We're on Murder Terminology. Then we're going to play Patron Saint of Murderers. And that, my friends, is the Murder Metal show. Yes. So let's move forward. Let's do a little, what do we got here? I'm seeing a D minor key signature with an E tonality. So kind of got a E Locrian going on in this. Should be interesting. I haven't played this song in a while. This is called Sacrificed in Thy Mirror. And no matter how well I set up my lights, it doesn't stop me from being an airhead, does it? Still got to have the correct program highlighted, active, when I hit the space bar. Now we're going to play Sacrificed in Thy Mirror. Alrighty then, I got a weird camera angle going here. Let's rectify that scenario by putting a better camera angle on it. I just think of stuff like this. You know, I'm crazy like that. Yeah, it is geology time, kids. We are geologying all over the place. Geology this place to the ground. Neil! Neil ate his kids. That is so true. You gotta watch out for that guy. Thank you very much for throwing $5 up on the stage. Much appreciated. Thank you all for being here. So, I did this. I don't know if Christy's watching tonight, but I had this really cool thing. Just a few days ago, we had a local entomologist out visiting us. Sarah is a botanist, so scientist friends that hang out with us. And I went out moth sheeting, which is you take this mercury vapor light because it's got some fancy light spectrum, and you go out with this big white sheet and you light it up and moths come to it, and then entomologists go study them. So I'm actually a mother, technically now, which is really cool. That's something not very many people have done. Christy had never gone out observing in Eastern Washington before. She's a Western Washington gal. Stone and somersault, that's awesome. I hope that Cycler Virgil can come on, because I'm actually playing his song tonight. It is number 9 on this album, and so I know he likes hearing that. If you want to give him a quick text, Doc, let him know that his song is coming on tonight. That'd be cool. Let's get a little more smoke in here since we can. Yes. Boom. Yeah. It does feel good to have the lights going. So I'm a mother. I don't know if you're a mother. And that doesn't have anything to do with the next song at all. But still, it's a riot and it's a kick. And I'm rocking and I'm loving it. This show is a lot of fun tonight. All right, let's move on into the winter of terror. I did it again. What window do I got highlighted now? What do I? Oh man, I am such. I got OBS highlighted. That doesn't make any sense at all. All right, winter of terror. Good times. I think I got a light going crazy down. And whoa, whoa, whoa! What's going on? Hey, let me get my light set here. There we go. Okay, now I gotta get this light reset. Oh yeah, that's happened before. Easy fix. Nothing catches on fire when that happens, so that's good. No fires yet. Dexter's Disciples, which I believe is the name of you guys' band, and you guys need to start doing some Twitch shows of your own. Because I would love to see that happen. It's a great name, too. Great name for a band. Love it. Alrighty then. I think someone's trying to text me, but that doesn't matter. Okay, now I've got my computer set up to play that song again, which is something we don't want to do. All right, so I saw something about, I gotta look back here. He clipped 2 fingers with a table saw. So that's Tom? Dude, that sucks. I will try to text him later on, tomorrow or whatever, but please, if you talk to him, tell him he's in my thoughts. Yeah, no more accidents for Tom. That's okay. Well, tell him we all said hello. That's true. You can still, you can really get a lobotomy and play just about any musical instrument. You know, it helps to be dumb. Dumb is good. So, all right. Yeah, Doc. No one believes you when you say you're not good at playing drums. So, all right. All right, I just want to get this set. So, okay. You know, sometimes we go into a real big introduction of the G sharp minor portion of the show. This isn't it, because this song's in F minor. Master at cello. I have a feeling you're full of crap, but I like that, because cellos are awesome. They're like a great big violin. It's like, you get your orchestra, you get the violins, and then the other violins, and then the big violins, and the giant violins. That's how orchestras work. Jello, same thing, really. Sonically, it's pretty much the same. And it's exactly the same as the brain of a guitar player. So, there we go. All right, let's do some F minor, shall we? The song is called The Phantom of Shame. we're gonna now stone and somersault. Stoning all around the place. Oh, I just did something bad again. Did something wrong here. Okay. I'm doing something weird with my keyboard tonight. Okay, no, I'm in the right place. Good. All right. I dropped a pick. Just gonna have to use another one. I've got plenty. Looks like Wanko Tango time's here. Thanks for coming in, bud. And yeah, the fog is much better. Big improvement. So it's nice having it back. I do like it quite a lot. It's kind of like being on the altar of madness. Phantom of Shame. Wayne goes to pilot. I am also a licensed pilot. I haven't flown in like 20 years, but I am licensed. I did that a little bit back at the back when I was in the 90s, into the 2000s. I was just a student. I never flew a 787. I flew little Cessnas and stuff. So that's awesome. That is super cool. Yeah, you know, try not to, I'm guessing you guys are talking about simulators at this point because you lived through 747 crash. I would urge against crashing 747s or any kind of aircraft, really, just as a generally good idea, you know. I feel like I need to adjust this camera here a bit. I feel like we're kind of getting too much crotch cam, not enough guitar cam, so let's make a little adjustment here. This is something I'm still figuring out. It's where to frame up my cameras. Let's try that. That's a little better. Just a touch that way. We'll try that. Okay. Show us, you know, right now, I saw you guys talking about that, and that is actually a really good idea for a video. My cameras are not really set up to be that mobile, so I really couldn't show you my setup effectively here tonight, but I might do a video on that, a kind of a studio tour, talk about, my setup is like stupid complex, and the part that you guys don't see, what I'm looking at, is pretty cool. It's a nice setup. I've got a good strong computer, and then my recording desk is just brilliant. I actually got it. It's like a $2,000 desk I got for, I think, $250 from a buddy of mine who had bought it used, and my setup is good. So yeah, I will. Mental notes. Yeah, I've actually got Therese at Louis TE 84. Therese asked me to give her more detailed instructions about how to make my deep dish pizza. I've got a whole video I've shot on that, and ever since I did my reinstall on my computer, I haven't even put my video editing software back in yet. So I've got like this video. All I need to do is edit it down and write some music for it, and it'll be ready to go. And it's a pretty fun video. I really liked the way that it went. So, yeah, you know, one of these days. But I will definitely. I've got a series of videos that I want to make that kind of just talk about my philosophies of music and people that have been inspirational and what I've learned from those people like John Coltrane, James Young of Styx, Miles Davis, the Brute Metallica, Joe Satriani. You know, a lot of my influences. So yeah, videos are something that it's kind of. I need to do this. We'll see what happens with it. So yeah, it is. It's pretty kick-ass. So we'll see what goes on there. Anyway, I don't have anything witty to say about this next song. It's not in G sharp minor. It is in fact in A minor, which even though G sharp goes right next to A and as far as like one fret away, it's about as far as away as you can possibly be key-wise. But G sharp minor is going to happen twice tonight because we're doing two albums. They both have a G sharp minor portion. I think one of them is a G sharp Phrygian, and who doesn't like a bit of Phrygian? Jerks don't like a bit of Phrygian. That's who. So, yeah. This song is called Forsaken Soul. Well, Renee, have a great night. Thanks for coming in. Always good to see you here, of course. Pretty much my favorite person in the whole world because, you know, parents are a little biased like that. Of course, in my case, it's not bias. I just have the best daughter ever. So that's not much I can do about that. Taking something up with the boss. What is Treese? Asked about that months ago. Pizza video. Yeah, I believe a few people have asked about the studio tour thing. And so, yeah, I basically, I just need to make the decision to, to start making videos. So I was just checking the new fog machine. Okay, there it's going now. Cool. Okay, fog is good. And then there's this other thing that happens. Some of you guys may be familiar with the basic concept. The pizza tutorial is going to be good. It is going to be good. And thank you for your patience, everyone, on my video delays. But right now we should talk about something else. Because, ladies and gentlemen, we have arrived at the G sharp minor portion of the show. This song is called Bleeding Out. thought for a moment, correct me if I'm wrong, but I thought I saw a request in the chat while I was playing. I thought I saw a request in the chat. A request that I can actually help with. Yeah, came from Mr. Glenn. Mr. and or Mrs. Glenn. Whoever was typing that. I don't know how you're dressed right now. All right, so maybe we should take this request tonight. I think we should. Let me grab a prop. BRB. I hope you guys are ready for this. Hope I'm ready for this. All right, I'm gonna have to do a finger style tonight, so I left my picks all the way over there. Ladies and gentlemen, the most famous song in the history of music. Song covered by Mozart, covered by Beethoven, covered by Bach, covered by Rammstein, Metallica, Barry Manilow, Bob Marley, and the Police. And that was just in the year 1981. All of them. A song that launched 1,000 careers and won 100 wars. This is D in Solitude. Yes, that's how it works, guys. Get out of my face. It's a drum, hand drum, cone, if you will. All right, so we got that out of the way. So, we talked about Tom a little earlier. Unfortunately, Tom's not going to make it because he was busy cutting his fingers off today. This song is dedicated to Tom, so this performance will also go out to Tom. I hope that you're doing well, my friend. Stop cutting your fingers off. This song is called Daydreams About Nightmares. So I'm guessing that Glenn's mind is blown by the fact that Jerry refilled his water. That seems appropriate to me. I'm kind of feeling that, kind of getting into that. And I think that Virgil should be more upset about the fact that he cut his fingers off than that he missed me playing his song. But priorities. Mad Poet is the priority here apparently for Mr. Tom. So good for him. Good. Digging that. Smoke machine's still working. I haven't burned anything down yet. That's good. Oh, and I think I had another tip come in. Thank you very much, Mrs. Tuna. I do appreciate it greatly. So we're moving in on the last song of this. Whatever you refilled, it blew Glenn's mind. That's for sure. The thing that's blowing my mind is how much harder it is to see my monitor when there's fog in front of my face. So that's something I'm going to have to work a little bit before the next show. Because last time I had the fog machine, I was facing the other way. I had a fairly different setup. So there's all of that going on. Yes. Good stuff. Pizza mushroom. What a sick thing to say. That's just wrong. See, that's why we need songs like what I'm about to put out here. What I'm about to play. Because we need good, positive messages going. Not this put mushrooms on your pizza junk. We need good, positive messages like the title of this next song. Yeah, this is the way we need people to think. This song is called Hatred Grows Too Slowly. Jerk. I screwed up. I forgot that I need to change something for this song to actually be functional. Apologies. Mushrooms on pizza are still wrong. It would bounce very effectively off of my head, that's for sure. All right, hatred still grows too slowly. got some activity going on. Device 1974, that's my buddy Jesse. Jesse and I used to be in a band together. He is an awesome bass player and a very cool guy. I just actually got to hang out with him yesterday. He was out in Eastern Washington doing a job, so stopped in. I made a pizza, and we sat and chatted for a bit, and it was great to catch up. I haven't seen him for a few years, and so thank you for subscribing. I do appreciate that. And Pete, I actually don't have the full name on that one. Pete, thank you very much for throwing $5 up on the stage. Bumblebee Tuna, I don't know if I did think Mr. Tuna or Mrs. Tuna. Virgil is here! Yeah, hey, I'm down for it. That's perfect. Let's do that. Yeah, oh yeah, Doc is a great drummer. Jesse is a great bass player. You guys would probably get on well. So yeah, you know what? Let's go back and play for... I'm totally down. If no one has an objection... Okay, yeah, I'm totally down for playing Tom's song again. And so that was the last song on the album. And oh, good. I'm glad you had some pizza. I'm glad you can still eat pizza. That's important in life. So we're gonna play this, and then we're gonna switch over to Patron Saint of Murderers, and then we're gonna play that because that's what we do in the murder metal show. All right, so we'll slow it down again. We're getting some C minor action from my man Tom. I hope you're doing well, bud. I truly do. And this is C minor, approximately 96 beats a minute. The song is called Daydreams, about nightmares, dedicated to my buddy Tom and his fingers. for Betty Spaghetti. Arnold. I think I'm happier with that take anyway than the first one. I'm glad you were here for that one, Tom. That, I think, worked out a little better. So that's great. So I need to switch. I believe I have set up to have this switch over to the next album be a little smoother than normal. Let's see what happens here. Let's just take a look. So do you got me? Still got me there. Okay, so that's good. Does my guitar still work? No. That's a problem. Okay, I may have to... Okay, I'm gonna have to... You guys are gonna lose me for a moment. Speak amongst yourselves. And I'll be right back with you. We got guitar juice, we got vocal juice, we got picks all over the freaking floor. I've been dropping them like mad tonight. All right, let's get those back. So I'm gonna drop some more of them. We know that for sure. Play the guitar using cold sticks of butter. You know, I really only do that in private. There are some things you just don't do in a live show. All right, so, I mean, it might be one thing, you know, to dress up in an R2-D2 costume, put duct tape over my mouth and show myself who's boss on stream, but playing with a cold stick of butter might be a bit much. So now that I got another thing on here, I see what Pete's full name was. Pete Zamush Room. You're a sick, twisted, evil person. I knew I was gonna like you. Okay, so now where's my computer mouse? I would like to think it's somewhere in my computer. There it is. Okay, so I need to get my sheet music. The way the music, the program that I use for sheet music is called Sibelius, and it's a bit of an audio bully. And if like you don't do things in the right order, it just takes over your computer and it's a total jerk. There are some very good things about it, but for a $600 program, I'll tell you what, I would certainly not suggest people actually purchase it unless you need the things that I actually do. And very few people need what I need in it. Gravel. South Park. I've only watched a bit of South Park. I'm not familiar with that particular reference. You really got to be dedicated to play with the hot stick of butter. That's a fine question, actually. How do you acquire that? All right, so this is kind of cool for me. This is the first album I ever played live. It was 1 year ago today. I'm kind of stoked about that. My shows have come a very long way since we got this party started last May 28th. Fun fact, also Sarah's sister's birthday today, so that's exciting. So I'm gonna say she must have turned 22 because that's how old everybody is on their birthday. Lights are working, that's exciting. All right, so I don't got anything crazy witty to say. What do we got going here? This first, this album is called The Patron Saint of Murderers. We've got 12 songs on this one. First song is in G minor. And this song is called The Birth of Darkness. Not sure what the references here are. Prog blah blah. Sarah's sister's birthday, yes. Okay, so I see where we're at here. And still don't understand what's going on. That's okay, I'm good with that. But yeah, that was the first song I ever played on a live show on Twitch. So that is like a blast from the past for me. I was facing the other way in the room, and I had, I think, 4 lights in the back, all sitting on the floor. Very, very different setup. And I think that, like, part of that show, there was nobody watching. There was probably like, you know, 1 person watching for part of the show. And it was fun. I loved it. And I mean, I've always liked this album. This album, The Patron Saint of Murderers, is one where I spent extra time, kind of like I'm doing with number 65 right now, because I wanted different things in the production. And so I kind of went after some different ideas. And it worked really well. I'm very pleased with the way this album turned out. The title of the album actually comes from a video game that I occasionally play called City of Heroes. And there was a character in there, I read the character's bio and described himself as the patron saint of murderers. And that led to this album. And it's pretty great. So I have no idea who that person actually... I did tell them about the album. I don't know if they ever went and listened to it or anything, but that's where this came from. And thanks for the compliment there on the nice tunes. Purple alert, purple alert. It's kind of worse than blue alert, but not quite as bad as red alert. Anyway, this next song is the title track of the album. And this was one where I just wanted to have this real kind of creepy vibe to it. And so I went with a harpsichord through the whole thing. And I've spoken before about how cool I think it is that we're able to do so many things with the technology we have in music. I mean, I don't have access to a harpsichord. And even if I did, I couldn't play the stuff that I wrote for this. So I programmed it and let robots play it. And that's the way that works out. So let's do this. This is the patron saint of murderers. Yeah, I really like that song a lot. That is definitely a fun piece to play. This album is very fun to play, I would say pretty much all the way through. Sets a mushroom on someone. You are just a bad person. Bad people. Device 74 plays a lot of heavy metal. He and I used to be in a metal band together. I don't know if he's still on. And he's got a variety of different types. He's got some fretless, he's got some fretted, 5 strings, 4 strings. He's really good. He's if not the best bass player that I've played with, he's definitely amongst them. So, slap you with my sweaty sock. That sounds tasty. Okay, so people are twisted. That's great. All right. So anyway, so you mentioned in here, I saw you mention something about the creepiness of the harpsichord and also the pipe organ. There is pipe organ sampler in this album, and particularly listen right in the intro on song number 5, which is Glenn's favorite. It's called "The Castle of the Crimson Knight." There's this kind of pipe organ synth choir combo thing going on, and if you listen, there was a pipe organ in a few places on the last album and on this one. So it's in there. It's kind of tucked away in a few places. The main thing where it will come out is in that Castle of the Crimson Knight. Oh, Device 974 is still here. So I'll let him answer the questions about what kind of bass he plays. And you know, man, I love King Diamond. That's a big compliment right there. And I had never thought of that. I wouldn't say that I'm very strongly influenced by King Diamond directly. I'm definitely influenced by King Diamond through Metallica, because Metallica was massively influenced by King Diamond and Diamond Head and Motorhead. So the 2 diamonds and the 2 heads. King Diamond, Diamond Head, Motorhead. Put all that together, you get Metallica. Metallica has definitely been a big influence on me, but now that you mention it, that is kind of a King Diamond vibe with the way that's set up, and thank you. I'll take it big time, because that's a great compliment. So I'm just kind of checking a couple things here. Okay, I think we're in good shape. Thank you very much. Always appreciate the compliments. And of course, just the fact that people are here watching, listening, smelling my show, feeling my show, rubbing your face on your monitor just to be close to me, whatever it is you guys are doing over there on your own time. I appreciate it. Thanks for that. And I don't think I thanked Cycler Chopper Fingers for the $5 he threw on stage. So thank you very much for that. Greatly appreciated. And again, I do hope that Tom heals soon and stops chopping his fingers off. So, all right. Well, Tom is stained with blood, but this next song is stained with sin. Okay, I gotta see what Doc was spitting his drink on the monitor for. Bloodletting is a good thing. Okay, slight Teletubbies vibe. That's true. You know, the Teletubbies are largely underrepresented in metal music today. That's something I've long been hoping to rectify, and I'm really glad that you're seeing the influence there, because I did see an episode or two of that when my daughter was 4 years old. So it's something that I feel that the Teletubbies and also certain types of shredded cheese are fairly underrepresented in modern metal. So we'll see what we can do with as far as rectification for that. Bloodletting is a good thing. That is true, particularly if you have too much iron, such as entomologist Christy Caldwell, who we mentioned earlier in the show. She has too much iron. There you go. I probably shouldn't have said that. Cat is cracking you up. Okay, okay, cat stuff, thunk, bass stuff, doc stuff, device stuff. Okay. Hey, thanks, man. I'm glad you like it. That is a pretty heavy one. It's pretty cool. Yeah. Like I said, this album is it's a fun one. I feel like albums 55 through probably about 62. I feel like I had a really good 7 or 8 week run and put out those 7 or 8 albums. And I'm like, yeah, those they have a good feel. I don't know what was different at that point, but that kind of kicked for me. So one of these days maybe I'll get back to the whole rapid fire putting out of albums, or maybe even just finish the one I'm working on now that I've been saying that for 6 or 7 months because I'm a yutz. Who knows? Yeah, fretless is hard to play. I have messed around with fretless basses, and you have to be right on the mark. If you're, basically, the frets you tune your guitar or your bass or your fretted instruments, and the frets do the work of keeping you in tune. On a fretless bass, you don't have that. It's like a violin or a large violin or a giant violin, whatever those things are called. And yeah, so it takes a lot of practice to be good at a fretless bass. Let's move on a little here. Let's get some B minor action going. If you're not against that, if you are against it, I'm going to do it anyway because it's my music and that's what I do. I like writing in a lot of keys. This is called an angel. We're going to slow it down a little bit. This is called an angel flying with broken wings. Oh, wait, hang on a second. Just you guys, just hold your horses, all right? Just wait there. Okay, now I'm ready. You cannot go wrong with Glenn and his heavy metal spoons. It's one of the best things ever. And speaking of the best things, and actually I want to check this light over here. Sometimes these lights just kind of change channels. It was on channel 155 instead of 15. And apparently, being off by 140 channels makes a difference. So, there you go. You keep looking at the logo and thinking, I'm not sure what you're thinking, but I hope you're having a good time with it. That's awesome. You know, AC/DC comes under fire sometimes, but they are such a great band. You know, when you think of like really iconic guitar riffs, you know, like Sweet Child of Mine, Iron Man, Crazy Train, Billie Jean, Smoke on the Water, Hell's Bells, Thunderstruck, Shook Me All Night Long, Back in Black, Highway to Hell. For those about to rock, I defy anyone to find a guitar player who has come up with more iconic guitar riffs than Angus. There's a level of genius there that I don't understand, but it is, that dude is really, really awesome at that. You guys must be talking about gear getting stolen. Mary had a little lamb and ate sharp. All right. Anyway, speaking of Glenn's favorite things, we are coming up on what I believe to be Glenn's favorite song. He's been requesting this for a while. And this song is in fact dedicated to my buddy Duncan. Duncan, I don't know if you're out there tonight. I did invite Duncan tonight. Duncan and I used to play together in a punk band called Hades Machine, and we just had an absolute riot in that band. It was so fun. Duncan's a great guy. He was really excellent to play with on stage. And, you know, I hope you are out there. No, actually, not Mr. Donuts. What's Duncan's last name? I don't remember Duncan's last name. Smith. It's a tough one to remember. It's one of those really uncommon names. Duncan Smith. I'm pretty sure that's it. So, anyway, this song is dedicated to my buddy Duncan, who I hope you're out there watching tonight. And this particular performance is going out to my buddy Glenn, who I know is out there tonight, and who requested this. And this is a song I'll say one of the ones I get the most compliments on. It's very fun the way it's put together. It's got some very cool key changes in it. It's got a cool vibe to it. And this was actually inspired, if there are any fans out there of the old rock band Styx, they were actually the first band I ever saw live in concert. And that had a lot to do with my musical development, just how I approached live performance. And there's a song by them called Beyond These Castle Walls, which starts out with a similar vibe, just in the bass. I mean, they don't sound at all the same, but the bass in this, in the beginning of it, was inspired by that Styx piece, which is killer. It's, I think it's off of their album Grand Illusion. I won't say that for sure. Killer album. Yeah, big influence there. And yeah, I saw that my first concert was on their Paradise Theater tour. I was 10 years old. So 1981, down in Seattle at what is now the Key Arena. At the time we referred to it as the Coliseum. I probably had a bit of a contact high because they didn't check for drugs on the way in those concerts. But it was killer. It was a great show. And yeah, so Glenn, Duncan, thanks for being awesome. Song's going out to you guys. This is The Castle of the Crimson Knight. All right, thank you very much, Dexter Disciples. That looks like that one came from Glenn. Greatly appreciated for throwing the $5 up on stage. You guys are awesome just for being a part of it, but definitely the fact that I make any money on this at all is extremely cool. And you know that your statement that you must learn the lyrics to this song. Okay, I my apologies. I read that. I thought you said you must learn this song. If you want, I would be happy to send you, shoot me your email, shoot me a message through themadpoet.net with your email in it. And I'm always happy to send people tabs. I've got tabs written out for all my songs. Particularly once I'm up past like the 20th album or so, the tabs become much more robust. When I was on my earlier albums, the rhythms were kind of a little more loosely put in to the system. And so if I was to try to recreate those exactly, it'd be a lot harder to do. Where this stuff, it's written out pretty much note for note on all of that stuff. So yeah, if anyone ever wants tabs for my songs, I'm happy to send them to you. And of course, if anyone ever wants, just to sit with a sit-down lesson, I do all my lessons online, and I'll send people the tab. They can work on it on their own or with their own music teachers, or they can take lessons from me. I'm always happy to do all that. Yeah, Jesse and I met back in the Arrakis days prior to the theater shows, and I'll tell you, I've been fortunate. A lot of musicians complain about bass players more heavily than most other types of musicians. I've been very fortunate in having worked with some really excellent bass players. Jake from Hades Machine. I actually played bass for Hades Machine for a short time. I went back and forth to rhythm guitar, lead guitar, bass. Kyle, when he played for Hades Machine, he was really good. Of course, Jesse and also Ray from the same band there. It's been a while ago. It has been a while. But yeah, I've worked with some great bass players. I've had much bigger struggle with drummers personally. And now I know I've got Doc on here, who was one of the two drummers I worked with on my album Confusion were the two best. And Doc here is a bit more reliable than Braden was. I think the world of Braden wasn't always the most reliable guy. Man, he was a hell of a drummer and a super cool guy. I've been very fortunate to have worked with some really cool people in my time as a musician. And now I'm out living in the middle of nowhere and doing my own thing in middle of nowhere, Eastern Washington. As I've said so many times, I'm not actually in the middle of nowhere, but I'm within walking distance. Emmett is in the house. Thanks for coming in, buddy. This is a longer show tonight, so we're starting to be going on for a while. So welcome to the crew. We're having a good time here tonight. All right. I guess, like we've been talking about my song dedications. I played my song dedication for Tom. We did the one for Duncan. I've got a tribute song coming up later. This song really is kind of for all of us. It's kind of for everybody. E minor, 138 beats a minute, or thereabouts. This song is called The Vulture Awaits. Yeah, you guys did. You and Braden did have a nice drunk night at one party at my house. That was back when I lived in Lake Stevens. Man, that was ages ago. It was before Confusion came out that you guys actually met, and that came out in January 2004. Was the release of my first album. So that has been a while. Thank you, Glenn. Much appreciated. Couldn't find a Vulture, so the next best thing was an Alaskan dumpster chicken. That is so totally true. When are we going to hear the saxophone? This is still unknown. Still unknown. It'll happen. It'll happen. There's definitely going to be the 65th album, which will be another rock album, but it has my cover tune of Three Blind Mice, which is awesome, BT dubs. And it will also have the saxophone in it, which it's a song called Lonely Strangers and Forgotten Acquaintances or something like that. And a really great piece. But I don't know what's going to come. I'm still working the production angle on it. That's all I got for the time being. So it'll happen one of these days. Yeah, you guys, that rings a bell. You and Braden having a tequila night over there. So, yes, yeah, I've met some great musicians in my time. It's a beautiful thing. All right. So we still have not reached the G sharp minor portion of this particular album, but it is time to do some more B minor, which we've mentioned a few times tonight. Because B minor is also awesome. All of the minors are awesome. It's funny, I've got the student Susan, who I've referenced many times. She may be watching right now. She's on occasionally. And so she's a composer. And so I'll be looking at her sheet music. You know, she's kind of primarily a composition student. She's a great gal. I think the world of Susan. She's gotten so good at composing music. And so, you know, she'll throw a piece of sheet music to me, and I'll look at it, I'll see, like, you know, the two sharps, and I'll think B minor. And and then I'm like, oh no, this is D major. She thinks more in major. All my key signatures, I look at it, I'm just like, minor. That's just how I know my key signatures. So, it's what I do. All right. So let's play some B minor. 128 beats a minute. The song is called Unspoken Malice. So that was Unspoken Malice. God, this album is so fun to play. So good. Drink a lot of water, guys. Take a drink of water. I see a greeting for David Silva. Welcome to the show. Thanks for popping in. I hope you are enjoying what we have to offer in our little Mad Poet community of metal and mayhem. We're having a good time tonight. This has been a very fun show. This is my 1 year anniversary show. 1 year today. And this was the album I played. The first album I played, I only had 4 lights going on back here. It was actually opposite direction in the room, and a lot has changed since then. I started out with a fog machine. I'm back to a fog machine now, and the last one almost burned my house down, so we're glad that didn't happen. And looks like my musicians are talking music stuff, which is also awesome. So yes, thank you for the 1 year. Congratulations, and thanks for being part of the community. Thanks for having fun with the shows. Yeah. So there's something we talked about briefly during the performance of Murder Terminology, which is my 48th album. Now we're doing the Patron Saint of Murderers, which is my 55th album. And I mentioned this, and you guys seem to like it. And it's something that has come up in a lot of my shows that it's worth talking about. Because, ladies and gentlemen, we have arrived at the second G sharp minor portion of the show. You are welcome. Oh, I never finished the story of the smoke machine. Okay, oh yeah. So the smoke machine, just a couple days ago, 2-3 days ago, I get it in the mail. I'm like, I didn't order a smoke machine. So I immediately thought of Doc. I'm just like, because he's been talking about, Randy, get him the smoke machine for ages. I've had this little atomizer going. It's a little bit, but it's not that great. And so I just assumed Doc had sent it to me. He's been my biggest supporter. Really, him and Susan, who I mentioned earlier. Susan is the only person who has purchased every single one of my albums. And so grateful to her for that. For those of you who wish to catch up with her, go to bandcamp.com. There's a link in Twitch. If you're on Twitch, if you're on YouTube, then go to themadpoet.net. There are links there. But yeah, I just figured it was Doc. So I said, hey, thanks for, I got the package. It'll be up and running on Friday. And he's like, I didn't send you anything. I'm like, you didn't send me a new smoke machine? She's like, no. So next person I thought of off here was Therese. And then I thought, I asked Sarah. I'm like, did you get me? And I'm like, Sarah wouldn't have done this. And she didn't. It ended up being my dad. And so I called my parents up. They're out on vacation right now, so they're probably not watching tonight. But and my mom answered the phone, and I was like, hey, by chance, did you guys send me a new smoke machine? And they both just start laughing. They're on speakerphone. And she's like, that was all your dad. Thank him. And so yeah, and he seemed to have picked out a good one. It's working perfectly. It's not catching on fire. We'll give it a few months and see if it catches on fire like the other one. If anyone is interested in the Catching on Fire video, you can find it on my YouTube, and you can also find a clip of it on Twitch. So the one on YouTube is edited for language. Normally in my shows, I consider this a kid-friendly area. I've got students who come and watch these shows. Some of my students are quite young. Emmett's on here right now. I think he's like 11 years old. And I've got younger students. I've got a young niece that is welcome to come watch these. So, but during the part where I was in fear of potentially the house burning down and our lives, the linguistic restraint changed significantly, and I didn't show much. So there is an edited version where I've intentionally edited all those things out, and there is the unedited version you can find on the original clip from Twitch. Is still on Twitch. So thanks for coming in. I see that Jesse is signing off for the night. Hey, thanks for coming in. And yeah. So yes, getting back to where we left off. This is the second G sharp minor portion of the show. This song is called Two Kinds of Anger. I gotta say, I am so glad I started doing shows on Twitch. This is Twitch and YouTube now, but it started just on Twitch, and yeah, I'm really glad. This is such a fun way to do show. A cake for you, Randy. Of course, it's got mushrooms in it. Yes, because that's just this sick, twisted kind. Because if people are willing to put mushrooms on their pizza, shit, why not put them in cake? Why not put them in your breakfast cereal? Why not cut them up real fine and put them in your underwear? I don't know what kind of weird stuff you're doing over there, Doc. The mushrooms in your underwear and socks in Glenn's drink and God, weird people are awesome. All right. Yeah, I'm glad that Jess came in. He's a good guy. Good folks is Jesse. Most of my folks are good folks. I don't tend to keep associating with people who aren't. So thank you all once again for coming in. We're starting to roll into the end of the show here. We got 12 songs on this album. We're moving into number 9. We're gonna slow it down a little bit, but stay nice and heavy. This song is called "Blessed Are the Wicked." Yes. Slow and heavy. It's a good combo. It's not something we're going to stick with, though. It's not something we're going to stick with. I'm getting fog juice all over my glasses. I'm not used to that anymore. getting used to the system again. Whoa, those are bright stage lights. Shining off my bald head. I am so glad that I ended up shaving my head. The band I used to be in Jesse with, we had done a show, and we had some great photos from it. And there was this one, it was the last show I got photos with my Les Paul before it was stolen. And there was this great shot of me from the side, and Jesse was right over here. And I'm like, this photo would be perfect, but this is all gone. And I looked at that and realized, okay, it's time. So I decided when I saw that photo that the next show that I did was shave my head. And that's exactly what happened. Have not looked back since. Fun, it's good. Shaving head is good. Every time I see a barber shop, I walk by and I'm like, man, I have not been to one of those in a long time. I just turned 50. I think I was 36 or 37 when I shaved my head the first time. So it's been good 13, 14 years. Bald stuff. Beautiful. But like I said, I like slow and heavy, but we're not sticking with slow and heavy. Sebastian G666, thanks for coming in. I'm not familiar with the name. If this is your first time, thank you for watching. We are doing my 1-year anniversary tonight. Right now, we're playing an album called The Patron Saint of Murderers. You're actually coming in toward the end of the show, but I hope you've enjoyed what you've seen. We got 3 more songs to do. We were kind of slow and heavy on that last one, B minor. We're moving into E minor now, kicking it up to 141 beats a minute. We're going hard and heavy. We're going fast. This song is called 6 Scars. Six scars, baby. That's what we do here. All right. So we got 2 songs left. I've talked about this before while playing this album, but I think we've got a few new people watching, and it's kind of a fun story anyway. So this next song is called Voices of the Solus. It's in E Phrygian, very common heavy metal key. I've been asked before, because I've released 64 albums. I've done quite a few songs. And so I've been asked, what is my favorite? What is my least favorite? My least favorite is very easy for me to pick out. Of all the songs I've done, which is over 600, I think it's off of my 12th album. It's called The Battle Hymn of the Fallen Warrior. It's one of my favorite song titles. I love the title of the song. But I just don't feel like I took the concept to proper fruition when I did it. And that happens. You're going to have that bell curve. You're going to have songs of your own that you like, some that you don't care for as much. And this song, I don't know if that I would call this my favorite. This is definitely one of my favorite albums. And it's really fun to play. But this song, I feel like, came together the way I wanted it to. This song, I very much achieved what I hoped to achieve with this. And it's also, when I talk about my improvisational stuff, particularly to my students, but I get a lot of questions about, one of the things that people sometimes ask is, how do I remember all this music? Well, I've got sheet music in front of me for the rhythms, and I'm improvising the solos. But I'll do these motifs. Like in this song, you'll hear this. You'll hear that motif come up. And that's the only part of the solo that I've written. And that kind of sets a mood for it. And this, like I said, this song, I just feel this piece came together and did exactly what I wanted it to. And I've always been very pleased with this, with the way it came out. And the way it plays, the way it feels on the guitar is just, it's good. So let's do some E Phrygian. This is called Voices of the Solus. So we are moving in on the last song of the evening. This is a bit of a tribute song. I don't know if Ola was able to show up tonight. I did invite him. Ola England is a bit of a YouTube personality. He has a segment called Coffee with Ola. And I'm probably never going to be on Coffee with Ola. He interviews pretty well-known guitar players on there. I'm a pretty unknown guitar player. I'm a guitar player. I'm a guitar. I don't know what I am. Anyway, I made a video that I would encourage you, if you like this song, go watch the video. It's pretty fun. I figured since I'm never going to have coffee with Ola, I can have coffee without Ola. And so I made a video called Coffee Without Ola. And that's the title of this song. And it's just me sitting there drinking coffee in the alarming absence of Ola England. And of course everyone else. It's just me and my coffee. And it's awesome. It's a fun video. I had a great time making it. So, Ola, if you happen to be out there watching, thank you for all you do. You've been a big inspiration to a lot of guitar players, a lot of musicians, a lot of people. This is a short song, Coffee Without Ola, and I will see you on the other side. All right, gangsters. Again, as always, thank you so much. We had a really fun chat going on tonight. Had some great times here. Hope everyone enjoyed the show. I will be back for sure next Friday. I don't know what albums I will be playing, but I will be back. Of course, there's always the possibility of Thursdays, which I occasionally do. Thank you very much for the compliments, one and all. I am the Mad Poet. You are an audience. Check out themadpoet.net. Check out my Bandcamp, check out my Noise Trade, check out my YouTube. Thanks for coming to Twitch, thanks for coming to YouTube. Check out my Twitch, just check things out. Check someone else's music out, check my music out. Make your own music. Do your thing there, baby. This has been awesome. Again, thank you kindly. Hope you guys have a great night, and I will see you next week.